or this morning, I just created two files, index.html and style.css. Okay, so all I did, I went to my terminal, went to desktop, web fun, and then I created a folder called jsbasics, and then in there I created two files. They're all empty. I'm doing this from scratch. Sounds good? So the very first thing that I like to do is think about what I see and how that's going to translate to HTML. I don't even think about CSS before my HTML is done. Okay, and that's one approach. Some people like to write a little bit of HTML and then a little bit of CSS. That's totally viable too. But for me, I just like to have all the content there, so that then I could just worry about moving them, right, and putting them where I need them to be. All right. So here we see like four distinct separations, right? We have this big header in red. We have this kind of sidebar on the left. We have something called the main content on the right, and we have a big footer at the bottom. Okay, so these are kind of like four divisions, right? And I say that word on purpose, right? Division. We could be using divs to kind of separate them. Okay.
Do you see the background as a piece of the?
Yeah, we could have a big like wrapper,
Okay,
that will have everything inside of it. Okay, so let's do that. So I'm gonna open these two files. Gonna have them side by side, and it's gonna make this a little bit bigger for now. Okay, here will be our JavaScript basics assignment. And let's start writing our code. Okay, so like Preston said, I'm gonna have a big wrapper. So one shortcut, I believe it works here, is that if you need a ID or a class in a div and you know what they're gonna be called, you can say something like div hashtag wrapper and press tab, and it creates it for you. Okay, in Visual Studio Code.
Is that just for divs, or is that pretty much with any tag?
No, any tag like p dot give me a class, red class. Okay, it creates a class. Okay.
So you're gonna put everything inside a giant div.
Yeah, I'm gonna put everything inside of this big wrapper here. Okay, so and what I like to do, sometimes we get lost of how many divs we have. I put a comment right below it, end of the wrapper div. Okay, so I know where it ends. Okay, cool. So we have that. Now let's have this H1 right here. Okay? So there are multiple ways that you could do this. You could have this div called header with a H1 that says JavaScript basics. Okay? But I argue that instead you could do this. Why am I saying that I want to do it this way?
Like less code.
Okay, yes it is, but no, that's not the reason. Almost.
So you could like make that one different from the rest of the headers?
Ooh, no. Think about what are the similarities between a div and an H1 as in terms of how they behave in the page.
It's a block element.
They're both block elements, right? They're both gonna take this whole line regardless, right? So I could just take that to my advantage and say, okay, I'm gonna have this H1 just be the header, and I'm just gonna make it bigger, and it's gonna fill it with red color. That's all I'm gonna do, okay? So I'm just gonna leave it like this, all right? And maybe we could even say end of header, but I think it's just one line, so I won't do that, okay? Now we have the side nav and we have the main content, right? So I'm gonna have a div called side nav. Okay, and I'm gonna have a div called main content, and I'm also gonna have a div called footer. Okay, and that's pretty much how this page is separated. Agree? Cool. Let's write the side nav information. Okay. End of side nav. So what do we see here?
Links, unordered lists.
An unordered list. I see another unordered list. And what is this going to be?
H. P tag?
It could be a p tag, right? P tag. But they look like they're all links, right?
Right.
Okay, cool. Even the home? Yes. Okay, so let's do this.
Well, I thought we weren't supposed to make this page functional. I thought the instructions were whatever.
Well, you could still have an anchor tag that doesn't go anywhere. But these are still links.
Well, like I did mine and I just did it as a list. Do I need to go back and redo the thing?
You don't need to redo it.
As long as you know how to do one.
Yeah. So, so let's have what? A p tag that says anchor tag, and then home. If you do hashtag, maybe this will answer your question, Jesse. If you do a hashtag in the place where it's supposed to go, then if you just click, it doesn't go anywhere.
Yeah, I just was wondering whether I need to go back to my homework and redo that.
Okay. No, you don't have to do it. All right. So now I have a unordered list. Okay. And inside of there, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 list items. Okay. This guy right here is also a list item if you put it inside of a UL. It will give you problems in the W3 validator if you don't put it into a UL list item. Okay, so li JavaScript overview. This is like kind of like my favorite part where I had to write everything.
Does
Variable
creating it-
decoration.
Does creating a list item underneath an unordered list, does it default tab it or anything? Or is it just going to stack it right on top?
No, it doesn't do
so your-
anything for you.
Okay, your list items are just going to go right underneath.
Li data type. What is the next one? Do you guys know?
No.
Okay. Conditionals, loops, and function. Conditionals. Thank you. Loops and functions. Okay. And then here I have another li projects, assignments, and quiz. I'll just do projects. Then just copy that, assignments, and quiz. Cool? Awesome. So we did the side nav. Let's do the main content now. End of main content. Alright. So let's say this is like an H2. Yeah? It doesn't matter what they actually are, because we could always CSS it to our liking, but I'm just going to pick H2 because that's what it looks like. And then we have a big P tag. I'll just leave that as lore. Is that okay with you guys? Okay?
Wait, quick question.
Yes.
When you do lorem, what do you press after lorem to make it?
Tab.
Okay, for some reason mine doesn't do
Yeah, it doesn't even. If you make a capital L and you tab it, for some reason it makes lorem in brackets for me. But so you just do lowercase and then tab it.
that. Oh,
Yeah, it has to be lowercase.
oh,
Yeah. This doesn't work.
Yeah, that's what
Lore. Okay. Alright, and I'm gonna add another lorem here because I think it's not long enough. Okay. Alright. And then we have another unordered list, right? UL, li, and then inside the UL we have
Aren't those links?
we have a link with some paragraph, right?
So it's a it's an A link and it's a P link and an A link inside of an LI link, right?
So, say it again.
Sorry, nothing. I'm thinking out loud.
I'm just gonna say lore. Okay. Lorem. Okay. And I'll just style the very first. I'll just make the very first thing an anchor tag, for example, right? And I'll call this variable declaration. Does that make sense? Right? In the li, I have an anchor tag, and then I have more information. And I'll just do that for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. And it will be assignment.
How are you copying down there quickly?
Yeah.
I'm just that fast. Understand? So before I used to use a text editor called Sublime. Okay, there's a text editor called Sublime text editor, and this is just another editor very similar to what we use now in VS Code. Okay, and every text editor comes with shortcuts. Okay, key shortcuts. So I got so used to those key shortcuts that I downloaded something called a Sublime text key mapping that allows me to use the same shortcuts that I use in Sublime in VS Code. Okay, so for example, one of the shortcuts is wherever line I'm in, if I press Command Shift D or Control Shift D, it just copies it for me. Okay.
Do you need to download something, or is there like a setting?
So what you do, you go to this one right here, this guy. The extension is an extension. You search it, Sublime Text, and then you install it.
Oh.
Yeah.
Is there not a command like that baked into the
Is there
program?
not a
No.
key
Shift option. Turn that shift option down.
Yeah,
Ah.
they're just different. They have commands, but they're just different. But if you could always Google VS Code key shortcuts, and they will have a list for key bindings, for example, and they will have a list of shortcuts that you could use right here. Okay, it's just a matter of memorizing them and doing them more and more and more. There's a lot. I'm still scrolling. Okay, but it does help you with just the speed, right? And then conditionals, and then loops and functions. All right, so I'll just have lorem. I don't want to type everything. It's more about positioning than the actual content that we have in here. And the very last thing, we have a p tag in the footer. For more useful information, check out this URL, JavaScript. So, and a footer. For more useful information, check out this URL, and then it will be an anchor tag, JavaScript. All right, let's see how this looks. Not bad. It looks pretty good. I like it. All right, we did a lot. Now let's actually style it. Okay, so let's go back here. Let's first link the file, style.css. Right, so they're in the same directory, so I could just say style.css, and I'll start with the basic margin 0, padding 0. Okay, cool. See how much Chrome does it for you by default? Like, this is all defaulted to Chrome. Now that I took everything out, look at this. It looks horrible. All right. Now I'm gonna have the wrapper. What is the? We say it to be width of 970, right? For this exercise, pixels, and I'm gonna just say margin 0 auto to center it. Okay. So margin 0 auto means 0 top and bottom, and then auto on the left and the right. So it automatically takes the space of my left and the right according to my browser. So no matter how big it is, it's always going to be center. Okay? Cool. And then I want the wrapper to be some color, right? So I have something called color picker. It's just a Chrome extension now that I use. I can just pick any color from this page. So, and it gives me the RGB values. So the wrapper, its background color is this. Okay? And I just have to save it like that.
What was that called?
Color picker.
That's just the name.
Yeah. There's also something here someone showed me before. If you go to elements and find anything that has color inside, right here, you click it, then it has the same feature. Okay, that's just built in into Chrome. Let's see if the values are still the same. For this guy, it's different than my color picker. Interesting. Let's just use that one. Okay, I'll just use this one so that you guys don't have to install anything. Let's go back here, and there it is. Okay, it's right there. All right, that's the first step. Second, let's do the header, right? Let's just go top to bottom. So the header, the background color is some sort of red. Let's go inspect, header. Doesn't have color to it.
Wrong one.
Okay.
Yeah, you're on the actual.
What am I doing? That's really funny. Click on it and it changes. So it's CE whatever. Okay? And now it's right there. Okay? And let's go to this guy. Copy that. And that's just the color, right? Of the actual font. Cool. Awesome. Now, what do I have to add to make it look like that? Padding. I like the padding first because this is the content inside of the H1, right? We want to add space to between the content and the border, right? So that's what padding is. So maybe I need some padding top and a padding left a little bit, right? So let's do padding. Top and bottom will be, let's say, 20 pixels. And then, let's just do top, nothing on the right, 20 on the bottom, and let's do 15 on the left. Let's see how that looks like. Not bad. Is that good enough? Maybe more on the left. Okay.
So it just goes clockwise if you.
Yes, it's clockwise. And then what I'm gonna do is that notice that H1 it takes the whole space, right? But it doesn't take the whole space of my browser. It takes the whole space of what? What div? The wrapper, which is its parent div. So the width or the block elements will take the space of their parent element, right? So I'm just gonna say their width, it's gonna be around 90%. Okay? I don't want to do this math of 970 minus whatever. I'll just say 90%, and it looks like this. Okay? Now I could do the same thing, margin 0 auto to center. And then it looks like that. Right? Does that make sense what I just did? Maybe we want to do a little more than 90%. Maybe like that. That kind of looks a little more like it, right? Okay. What do I have to do next? Doesn't quite look like that yet. Border radius, good. So border radius, and I'll just say 10 pixels, and that kind of adds the rounding in the corners for me. Okay. That's actually pretty good. I like it. All right, and then I'm gonna just add a little bit of margin top.
Right. Does that affect your auto?
It shouldn't. Margin top
Oh, I see.
of 10 pixels. Ooh. So it's adding top. Okay, this is what I'm gonna do. So what happens is the same problem that we had with yours, Andrew, is that the margin is affecting because there's no content in the wrapper is affecting the margin that goes from the wrapper to the browser. So a solution is to add padding top to the wrapper instead.
Or could you also put another div, a clear div on top and
Yeah.
add it?
That's why people put the clear div. That's another solution.
What's a
But
clear
we
div?
don't have to do that. Let's just do padding top to the wrapper to move the information down.
What's a clear div? I'm sorry.
You just put a div here that's is going to have a clear attribute.
So, but it takes up space.
Yeah, it just takes up space. Let's do 15 pixels actually. Okay, so we're done with the header. Okay, is that everyone okay with that? See how I did that? Cool. Any questions? No? Let's change it back to 10. It looks more similar to that. All right, let's do the left hand side. Okay, so I'm gonna get the color. It's gonna be this guy right here, and it's called SciNav. Refresh, and it looks like that, right? So definitely it's gonna take the whole space because it's a block element, right? Now what I'll do too, I'll do the main content, but I'm just gonna position them. Okay, I just want them to be in the right place before I start moving the list items in my site nav. So my position for my main content, I'm gonna say main content. Its background color is this. And refresh, and it looks like that. So now our task is to put them right next to each other. So what do we use? Inline block. Okay, so I want both of them to be inline block, correct? So I'm gonna say SciNav, comma, main content, because I just want all the styles that pertain to both divs. I just want it to be in one place. I don't want it to be in two places because it's kind of redundant, right? I just have to say it once. So display inline block. Okay. Still doesn't work. Now I had to say, hey, this guy's way too big, right? So what I'll do, what's the parent div of these guys? Still the wrapper, right? So I'm gonna say this. What's the percentage that you say for the SciNav? 20, and I'll just say 80 for the other one. So this one will be side width be 20%. Yeah, I'm gonna have to leave some room, so I'm gonna do 70 just in case. With 70%. Let's see what happens here. Oops, that's not the right one. Okay. And now we just vertically align top, right? And I'll just put it right here. Cool. All right. A lot of realizations today. Okay. Let's add some space at the bottom, some margin bottom to the JavaScript basics. Okay, or we could add margin top to these guys. So actually, let's just do that. Margin top, say 20 pixels, and then it moves it down. Cool. All right. Any questions? Okay, cool. So let's do. So notice that the wrapper, right? It doesn't just have some padding at top. It has padding everywhere. You can see that it has a little bit of padding here, a little bit of padding here, and a little bit of padding here. So for the wrapper, instead of just adding padding top, say padding everywhere on both sides. And then it kind of adds a little bit of padding. Okay? Cool. Now let's actually do the side nav. So the side nav needs a border radius of 10.
Can you give everything a border? I think everything on there has a border radius.
Cool. Yeah, we'll just add it. And then we could add some margin left to match the amount of space that I have here. Okay. So how much space did I add to the header? Margin 0. Oh, it's just auto. Okay, never mind.
Just a quick question on the very top, the star, the asterisk.
Mm-hmm.
Could you put border radius of 10 in there and make every element in there have a
But
border
every single element will have that. Every single one.
Okay.
Right? Every single one that you.
In this particular site tab?
The thing is, no, you don't want it.
Okay.
You wanna, yeah, don't add like a border radius for every single tag that you want. For this assignment, sure it will work, but I would just not do it. Okay. What you could do if you wanna add a border radius, you could make a class called border radius, and then you say border radius of 10 pixels. And then since a class could be applied to multiple divs, you just add that class to whichever div you want. Oops. Where did it go? Class border radius. And then let's say I want it here, then I could add it here. And then if I want it here, I could add it here. And then that it applies this CSS. That's much better than just adding to all of them. Okay, you never know what you won't need. Okay, cool. So let's add some margin left to the side nav. Say 10 pixels, see how it looks like. Almost lined up. 15. Okay, that looks pretty good. Okay, what's the next step now?
Move the main content.
Move these guys more to the middle, right? But this is the content, so it's just some padding, right? And it has padding everywhere, so I'll just add padding everywhere for and it is getting there, right? Maybe 20 pixels is a little too much. Okay, cool. Now what's the next step?
Change the font color in that.
Let's do the indentation and we could change the font color later. Okay, so I want to do a border radius of 20 actually. I want a little more round. And usually how it works is that you get a PSD or a Photoshop and they will give you all the what kind of font you're using, the colors they're using, so you don't have this guessing game. Here we just exercise this, so you're just gonna have to kind of guess a little bit. But if you're a front-end developer, usually the company will give you all the assets of the images that you're using and their color scheme, primary color, secondary color, and all that stuff. Okay. So you won't be doing exactly like this, but this is good practice. But let's indent. So what do I need to indent? I need to indent the second UL, right? This inner UL. So I'm just gonna put a div right here on ID that says inner UL, okay, or inner list. And the inner list, we have a margin left of 15 pixels. Oh, that's too little. 25 pixels. Is that enough? Yeah, that's good enough, right? That's cool.
Why does the variable declaration option have two?
It's because
bullet points?
it's because I put a li wrap. So the reason why I put a li in there. So let's go to W3 validator. If I put my code here, then hopefully I'll get a check. Okay, it's just saying that I have lorem ipsum, but my HTML has is saying that it's English. Okay, I could just take this out.
Is there a language Latin in there?
And but then it will give me errors for the other ones.
No, I know. I'm just wondering if Latin, which is, I believe, a dead language, do they have a tag for it?
So X, Z, Z, Z. That's what I have to do. Z, Z, X, X. I just copy and paste it. Let's try that. Okay. Cool. But it's fine. It's just a warning. It doesn't matter. It's just placeholder anyways. So you should just leave this as English because it's going to be English, right? But the problem is if I take this li here and I just have the ul, I'm going to get an error that I have a ul as a child element of a ul, but it's not an li. That's not semantically correct. Okay, so I need to have that li wrapping. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Now why did I
Is there a way to take away that bullet point that
Yeah,
isn't there?
I think
It's
so.
not supposed to
I
be
think
there.
so. I think it's a little bit challenging, but we could do it.
You see what I'm saying?
Really? I don't know
Yeah,
how
I don't know by memory either, so we could Google it.
I was just saying, I don't know how I did it. I
How
don't
to-
think I
Yeah,
had
use
that
the
bullet
bullet.
point. I don't think I had that bullet point down there. I was trying to figure
Did
it
you
out.
have this li?
No,
That's why.
but I thought I validated it. It didn't give me an error.
We have to look at it.
Oh, yeah.
How to remove a bullet point of a specific list item in a UL. Hey, look at that.
Did you?
No, it wasn't me that posted this question.
She posted-
Okay, so I can say the sixth child, I want the list type to be none. Okay, so let's try that. So for,
Which number is that? I think wouldn't it be the second child?
so it'll be the second, right? So I'll just say,
No, that'd be the first one because the home is that part
Yeah,
of the
the
list. Home is not part of the list.
You don't need to remove any
Oh,
bullets.
I need to
Yeah, there's
remove,
one
I need to
extra one there
remove
for
this
some
guy
reason.
right here.
On yeah, that little black one. Right
Oh.
Or I could just say something like, class remove bullet. And let's say I need this to remove bullet in other list items, so I just make it more general. I'll just make it a class. I'll just copy paste that, but instead of doing this sort of like child selecting, I'll just say remove bullet. And let's see if that works. And then it's gone. Okay? Awesome. Now I gotta move the outer UL a little bit to the left so that the bullet points match with the home. Right? Does that make sense? So I'm gonna say ID outer UL. And since the outer UL comes before the inner, I'll just call this list. And then I'll also say margin left 30, outer list. That's a little too much. 20, 15. That's a little bit better. Okay? And we pretty much have it done besides the color of the links. Alright? Do I have to change the color of the list of the links? Can I move on?
Do it.
We have We have 10 minutes to sports day,
Alright.
so I'm trying to finish this. Sports day is really important. Okay?
Change the color of the links or the paragraph.
Of the actual color of these guys.
Go to your CSS file.
Oh, I haven't made them links yet. These are not links actually, so I have to make all of them links.
Okay, so yeah.
Good point. I'll do that. Oops. Hashtag. Boom. Just copy this and put it here. Variable declaration. Put it in here. Oh. What did I just do? One, two, three, four, and then data type, conditionals, loops, and functions. Oh, it looks so similar that I keep refreshing this one. And then I need this one for these guys. Oops. But it'll be projects, assignments, and quiz. Okay. Cool. And then you just have to change the color.
Now you can go into your CSS
Hmm?
and then just do like A.
Just these specific A's?
No, like in your CSS file. Like down at the.
Yeah, but they're multiple A's.
Couldn't you just do it with your inner and outer list?
Yeah, I could just say outer list
Oh, my inner list.
color. Outer list, the anchor tags inside the outer list, and then we could also do inner list, the anchor text inside the inner list. I want the color to be
They want to do it for the main content. Aren't those supposed to be links? Or they not?
yeah for the home.
No, like inside of the main content. Like each of the terms.
Oh, so then it will be just all the anchor tags in my page, right? Then I want them to be, what is the color? Right here. Oh, that's gonna be hard. Let's see how that looks like. There we go. Okay. Did you ever figure out how to change the color of the bullet points?
Sort of. I forget who it was. He figured it out, but my stuff is kind of not formatted in a way to make it work.
In CSS, you can do like a specific tag where it's like down at the bottom if you do like UL, greater than symbol, I, LI, LI, then format that, then like do a bracket. And it's like color, whatever. Yeah,
List.
color.
Bullet style.
Yeah, that might be it. Or I think it.
No, I think it's
Well,
just
no, that
color.
was for say with bullets.
I think it was just the color.
Yeah, color tag, but then if you want to keep the text the same, you have to like do an additional qualifier.
No, it worked. Okay. So that's how you do it. But I won't do that. Let's just keep, we're running out of time. Let's move on. Okay, let's do this side. It's more about the positioning that I care about. Okay, so we have this. Now this needs a little margin to the left, so it goes to the right. Okay, so my main content needs margin of left let's say 20 pixels. And it's almost there. A little bit more, maybe 25. Okay, that looks pretty good. Now my H1, my H2, so my main content H2, that needs to be of color silver, which should be the same as the header, right? So I'm just gonna copy from the header. Right here. So that changed. And then I need a either margin top or padding top. So I'm going to add padding because I can see that it has padding everywhere. So I'll just increase the padding of the top one, of the top part, right? So main content, padding, and then let's say 20 pixels top, 10 pixels left, 10 pixels bottom, and 10 pixels left. I don't know why I was adding comments, but there we go. Okay, now we have padding. Okay, maybe we need a little more. Let's do 25 and 15 on each. Border radius 20 pixels. Okay, that's fine. But what was happening is that, remember how we left like 70%? That's just too much. That's just too big, right? So I added too much padding. I also added too much of a margin left. Maybe we'll do margin left 25. Jesus. Not the end. Oh, I have main content right here. So here, let's maybe decrease the margin left to 20.
Wouldn't it just be easier to change the percentage to 65%?
Yeah, we could do that too. But then, is this big enough? I guess we don't want to change this space, right? We want to just calculate this space, right? So let's do maybe 68. Too much. 67. There we go. Or that's too little now.
67.5.
Okay. Now that looks pretty good. So that looks good. Now we need the paragraph to also have main content p tag, the paragraph. I also want its color to be that. Awesome. Yes.
So if you do like a P tag for like the global, like wherever a paragraph is, if you were to do like a main content P tag, is that overrated?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Is always the very last one. Okay. So I have that. Now I need that P tag to have margins on top and the bottom. Let's say 10 pixels and 0 to the left and the right. Okay, so that is pretty much that. Maybe this lorem is a little too big. That's a little too small. Okay, something like that. Now I need to add margin left to the main content UL to go to the right. And let's say 20 pixels. There we go. That looks okay, right? So the main content content UL, the li, I want the color to be
Oh, it's
the other way.
great.
Content,
Let me see.
I want the color to be also that, right?
So that's just saying, got it.
Okay, and we have pretty much done the main content. Sounds good? Now let's do the footer. Cool. So the footer, I always like to do the background color first, because then I get to see where actually it is, and it makes me like visualize it a little better. So main content footer, that's the value. Background color. Save it. It's right there, very small.
Would you recommend sizing that first? So you got your other two blocks into position. Would you
Mhm.
recommend getting that one into position and sized as well, so it's not affecting the height of your main content as you?
What height? This one?
Yeah.
This won't affect the height of
it-
this
it
one.
won't-
No.
won't push it. Okay.
No. I just want to push this down, right? So I'm going to say footer, margin top, 20 pixels. And it's going to push down. Okay? Maybe that's a little too much. 15. And then I want to add some padding to make it a little fatter. So let's just add padding all around. 20 pixels. Oops. Okay. Border radius. 20 pixels. And then we're pretty much done. We just need to make those gray. Right?
How do you put spacing between bullet points and the main content?
The space between the bullet points, how did I do it?
No, I mean, how do you? If you check the sample, they actually have a little space between each bullet points.
Oh, right here, this guy right here. So what? That's a list item, right? So for each list item, we could just do margin bottom, like 5 pixels or something. Okay. Let's see if that works. Oops. Okay. All right. So this is my lecture for today.